Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. It's me, Richard Brugge, with Derek down in Arizona. How's it going, Derek?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
Not too bad. Staying warm. It's actually been a pretty decent day the last few days. It's been in almost like 60 the last couple of days.
Yeah, man. It's been a pretty warm winter, I think, for the most part. A little bit of snow the last couple of weeks, but seems like for the most part, it's been pretty tame out there this winter. We got Lori Hayes, our Hayes residents, Hayes, Kansas. We got Cindy Ann Trotnick from Parsons, Kansas. Donda Coyle is in the house. Melissa Gurney from Lincoln, Kansas. And we got Bit Molo. What is that? KC Mo. That's a unique name. And we got Double T over here from Salina, Kansas. Ricky's brother. Across town, huh? You guys can't stand to live by each other, huh?
He's on one part of Crawford. I'm on another part of Crawford, so not too far.
Town's not big enough for the both of you. We got Ellen Dotson here from Leavenworth. Our buddy Roxanne Fisher Jackson from Southeast Oklahoma. Kim Butcher from Newton. We got Christopher Unruh in the house over there in Greensburg. And Crystal's over here from Pittsburgh, Kansas. Well, we got a ton of people in here. Cool. We also got Trisha Arnold over in YouTube land. Monica Richmeyer is here from Topeka. We have Aileen Adams Boyington from Fort Scott, Kansas, living in the Kansas City area. Jason Pfeiffer, our buddy who's here every week. From Victoria, we got Carol Nori. Well, I can't say that. And then we got Linda Kincaid from we got a lot of people here. Mike Edmondson from Junction City. Andrea here from Junction City. Oh my God. Everywhere. Kelly Owens, Topeka. Yeah, Heston, Kansas. A lot of people in the house tonight. We got Chicago, we got Colorado. Yeah, Cheryl. And then Natoma, Kansas. And he says Richie is glitching a bit, but Derek is fine. I do know I am fine. I'm a very handsome man, Double T.
Yeah, I'm probably glitching because I've got some news links opened up to go with some of the flyers tonight, so it's probably glitching me a little bit.
Yeah, we're trying to get Ricky a new computer, y'all, because his is hanging on by a thread right now. Oh, we got Natoma, Kansas. Joanne in the house. Oh, here we go. So, yeah, she says 42. So, hey, Ricky, what's going on tonight, man? How you been?
Not too bad. Just keeping busy and, keeping busy with my daughters and stuff like that.
Right.
I better get that right. Daughter and my other one, she's identifying as a male right now. So I'm trying to get that going, trying to keep myself reminded to do that because it's making him mad when I don't. So
yeah,
I got to be sure I do that.
You've raised him as a daughter for the whole time, so it's a tough transition. But you know what? The important thing is that you're trying, and I think that he probably really appreciates that. But we have a ton of cases to get into, so I don't want to take too long. But you're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, and we will be right back after this with cases.
All right. All right. I'm going to start off with Blake Hoover, who's missing from Wichita. And actually, this is an updated flyer because he had been found and I was missing again. And it happened so fast I wasn't even able to do a located safe for him. But he's been missing since January 7th of this year. He's 17. He's 6'2" to 6'5". He weighs 205 to 215 pounds. Blonde hair and green eyes. I was able to add the center photo. That's a more recent photo of him. If you have any information regarding Blake's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017. and see if we can't get Blake found again and back to where he needs to be.
Right.
It looks
And I
like he does
tried
have
to
a.
go ahead.
I would say it looks like he does have a piercing on his left ear. There looks like a little hoop earring there on the left ear.
Yeah, it looks like it could even be two, maybe. You see definitely a piercing though.
Yeah.
I've been trying to involve case numbers on all these cases tonight. There's ones that you don't see them. I didn't see them on the flyer. We don't always get the case number.
Right.
But yeah, their name is a good way if you see these people to call these numbers that we put on the screen. But also that case number if you want to go. They're all on the flyers that you see on our Facebook page. So if anybody's seen Blake Hoover in the Wichita, Kansas area, call the numbers you see on the screen now.
Let's see. We got Carol here from Eldon, Missouri, and then we got Denise and Jean Law from Gas, Kansas, which I've never heard of. Gas, Kansas.
I've had gas in Kansas.
I have no idea where that is even at.
Wow. Well, Blake Hoover, if you're out there, if you're watching this, find somewhere safe to go. Call somebody you know. Let them know you're okay. A lot of people worried about you. Let's talk about Braden.
All right, Braden Hall. Let's see if I can locate the flyer on my list here. Since it's a lengthy list, she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since January 3rd. She is 16. She's 5'7" to 5'9", weighs between 225 and 245. She has blonde hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Braden's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-263-6011. Or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Braden found and back to where she needs to be.
Starting to see. I made all these flyers and like 2 hours before the show, but I'm just now starting to see. I think we're going to have a Wichita trend tonight.
Yeah, there are a lot, unfortunately.
Esther Unruh in the house. Hello, Esther. And then Nicholas over here from Junction City.
Yeah.
Esther's watching from Greensburg.
Cool.
I love Greensburg. One of my favorite human beings in the world is from the Greensburg area. And I've always loved that town. You're my second favorite person. Okay. Yeah. Did we have a different photo for Ayanna last time? Or is
this one was this is a more recent one of her that was sent to me, so I took the other two off and put this one on.
Okay.
Is what I did. And
she Topeka, Kansas.
Ouch. Yep, she's missing from Topeka, Kansas since November 27th of 2021. She's 14 years old. She's 5'3", 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. Believe she's still in Topeka. If you have any information regarding Ayanna's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get her found and back to where she needs to be. It's been coming up about 3 months here pretty soon that she's been missing.
Right. She's young, man. She's 14 years old.
14, yeah.
That's really young, man. And it's just, Topeka's a big city and it's just not good for a 14-year-old, to be unaccounted for this long.
Yeah. Melissa here from Hollowell, Kansas.
Hollowell, never been there.
And Jerome from the Garden City area.
Hey, my old stomping grounds. How you doing, Jerome?
Yep, they're popping in from all over. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I got a lot of folks in the house tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Davian. We've talked about him for a couple shows now, it seems.
Yeah. There's a few that were requested to be repeated tonight because they're just not getting any information on their whereabouts, and they're really hoping that we can help, reach the right people, the right hearts to get this information to that they'll call it in and say, hey, here's where they are, And Davian is one of them. He's missing from Ogden, Kansas since December 26th of 2021. He's 15 years old. He's 5 foot tall, weighs between 100 and 110 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Davian's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Riley County, Kansas Police Department at 785-537-2112 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him found and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. This is the second time we've covered it. I mean, he went missing before and was found, and then he went missing again on December 26th. So, yeah.
Okay.
We need to get him found and back to where he needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
And Andrea says she's still sick but hasn't missed a show. Well, thank you, Andrea.
Awesome.
I hope you get better soon. And Tom says, you guys do good work and God bless. Well, thank you, Tom. God bless you as well.
Thank you, Tom. And you added, I think the update to this one was you added those 2 new pictures here for Marianne.
Yeah, I added the one on in the larger 3, the one on the right, and down on the smaller 2, the one on the right on that one with the tongue.
Yeah, I tried to make everything as big as possible. You know, we only have so much screen, but yeah.
Yeah, the one with the tongue I added only to show variance in the hairstyle on hers.
Okay. Yeah, we usually try to avoid anything that somebody could misconstrue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mariana Junk, and she sometimes goes by Maddie. She's missing from Pittsburgh, Kansas since December 26th of 2021. She's 16, 5'3" to 5'4". She weighs between 160 and 250 pounds. She has brown hair, reddish brown hair, and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Mariana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Pittsburgh, Kansas Police Department at 620-431-5678 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Mariana found and back to where she needs to be.
Right.
It's getting a little, getting close to a month here, not too awful long from now, another 13 days.
Right.
Just really need to get them found and back home.
For sure. Yeah.
And if any of these young folks that we're covering, if they have any issues that they're, trying to get away from or run from, tell somebody you trust, teacher, counselor, police officer, just an adult you trust, tell them what's going on that you need help with.
Exactly. We always try to provide the the assistance out there to people that need it. You're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Mm-hmm.
If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
All right, here's another one we've covered quite a few times, and again, this is one of the ones that's been asked to cover again, as they're not getting any information on her, and hopefully we can help stir up some information on Heaven. She's been missing. Heaven Caylor been missing from Fort Scott, Kansas since June 24th of 2021. It's been quite a long time. She's 17 years old. She is 5'7" to 5'10", weighs between 130 to 140 pounds. She has dirty blonde hair and blue eyes. If anybody has any information regarding Heaven's disappearance or you know of where she's at, please call the Fort Scott, Kansas Police Department at 620-223-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Like I said, if anybody knows anything, please call it in. We want to try to help stir up some information as to where she's at so we can get her found and back to where she needs to be. And if anybody has any access to any updated photos of her, that would be great. Or I had somebody comment and ask if she had a middle name that she may go by rather than Heaven. And if by chance she does, if somebody knows that, please let me know. And I'll get that added to the flyer. But yeah, let's see if we can't get her found and back to where she needs to be.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's been well over 6 months. And Crystal Walden commented down here, I just noticed Pittsburgh Police Department phone number is 620-235-0400. And that would apply to Mariana Maddie Junk.
Okay.
And I'm going to jot that down so I have that, Crystal. Thank you for that. I was not aware I was using the phone number that I found listed on their either their website or their Facebook, one or the other. So if that's a different one, that's a good one to have. Thank you.
Wow, Vista's had some bad COVID going on.
Vista. Oh, daughter, son, 3 grandkids, and husband has it or had it. Oh my
She said she's been missing because COVID's been going around. Day 15.
Wow.
Jeez.
Well, hopefully, Vista, you get better soon.
Yeah. Hey, Mondi's here. And then Double T saying he hope it's not a foul play situation. Yeah, you never want it to be a foul
When it
play
gets to be that
situation.
long, it makes you really wonder. It really does.
Yeah. But one thing I would say though, just to keep me hopeful, is she's so close to being an adult. I
Yeah.
could see that she's just like, whatever, I'm just gonna go. I mean, if she's figured out a way that, I mean, I
Yeah.
could see how she could be safe and fine. But I get it. But it's just one of those things where she's not yet an adult, so she's missing.
Right.
And she's missing.
And I'm told from somebody that's within the foster care system that that's not always the case, that they're released at 18, because if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and meeting the goals that they're supposed to be meeting, they can keep them in the system till they're 21 years old. So, even though they're 17, they need to still straighten up and fly right and do what they're supposed to do and get it done so they can be released at 18. Otherwise, they're going to be sitting in the system until they're 21.
And we don't want to be sitting here saying that we think that just assimilating and falling in line with the system's easy or enjoyable. But I got to tell you, like my parents were really strict growing up. It's like, but now looking back, like I kind of hated my parents when I was in high school. Like they were trying to stop my fun. But like looking back, like I'm just like, wow, they're just really trying their best to keep me safe. Just really trying their best to make sure that I had some kind of future that didn't involve, being carried by my friends in a box. So at the end of the day, that's all we're here for. We understand nobody's saying life's easy. Nobody's saying that going home is the easy way. We're just saying that right now, being unaccounted for, you have a lot of people worried, and there's just better ways to start your adulthood.
Definitely.
So. But this is one we need to cover too. This is one that's she's 13 years old, and we just keep covering it and covering it. I'm really worried about this one.
Yeah, she's another one that we really need to start, shaking the bushes and start figuring out where she's at. Mackenzie Goodall's been missing from Wichita since July 30th of 2021. She's 13. She's 5'5", weighs between 155 and 165. She has black hair and brown eyes. And last night I did make a little bit of an update to where they think she may be. They're thinking either still in Wichita or either the Kansas City or Independence, Missouri areas. So let's get this flyer in those areas and really heavily circulate it in those areas: Wichita, Kansas City, and Independence. And again, Mackenzie, she's 13. She's 5'5", weighs between 155 and 165. She has black hair and brown eyes. And if you have any information at all regarding her disappearance, or where she's at, or where she may be, or who she may be hanging out with, call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456, or call the 316-263-6011, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get her, get some leads on her, get some information on where she's at. I mean, this has been, 6 months. I mean, this is getting crazy.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I don't care how old they are. 6 months of not seeing somebody, not having contact with a human being, that is scary. And then when you put on top of that, this is a 13-year-old child, that is a scary situation. And, we've had a 14-year-old on that. I mean, these kids are young. These kids are young.
And my brother again saying another one he hopes is not a foul play situation. And if you know something, say something. Definitely. If you know something, say something. Don't hold back.
Yeah.
You may think you're helping these kids by holding back and by not saying anything, but you're doing more harm than good.
All right. Mondi tacking on to my comment about my parents being strict. She says, mine too. As an adult, I know and appreciate the fact that they knew better than I did.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah,
I don't honestly, and honestly, a lot of these kids that we show on the show are from the foster system, so they may not have the same type of upbringing that we're all sitting here being like, well, I mean, at the end of the day, albeit there are bad people on this planet. I found out this week about somebody in my life that's a really bad person, that's really, kind of crazy. Yeah. Albeit there are bad people, I think for the most part, the system that's in place, the adults that are on staff trying to work on the problem that is having young people that don't have, adults to look up to and get mentorship from. It just, I don't know. It just, at the situation we're in right now, I just see that. I kind of lost my train of thought, Ricky, but.
Yeah. Like you were saying, my folks weren't overbearingly strict, but they did what they had to do to make sure they kept us safe and on the right track.
Yeah, and I think that was my point that I forgot. Didn't get to is that at the end of the day, people are just trying to help you, and it's because most people that are trying to help you at that kind of an age is because we've all been that age, and we all look back and we all look back and cringe on a lot of things that we did. Just like, man, I wish I would have known better. I wish somebody would have stopped me and said, "Hey, this is the better way," So,
Yeah.
and again, I just hope Mackenzie's okay.
Tom brings up a good point. He says it's real scary with all the trafficking and stuff. I tell my 12-year-old girl all the time to stay aware of her surroundings. Definitely,
gosh.
definitely.
You have to.
Yeah. I mean, and I tell my two all the time, you may be thinking you're online talking to somebody that, has a profile picture where they look, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. But in reality, it could be a 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old guy sitting on the other end of that thing, and you just don't know it.
Yeah.
You just never know.
You never know.
Nope. We saw a situation where that recently actually just got really a lot of publicity in regards to the Delphi murders. They had just arrested a guy back in 2020 that had set up a fake profile with fake pictures and everything, using it to hit up these underage girls for nude photos and videos and things like that. And and I showed that to my kids. I said, "This is why I tell you to be careful. You may think that this is the person you're talking to, but it may not be."
Well, I'll just scare him straight real quick, Wiki. The guy that Ricky's talking about, the pictures were a male model.
Yeah.
So all you people out there that would be enticed by a male model talking nicely to you, this is who they were really talking to.
Yeah.
So it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
This you would not be as enthused to talk to Anthony Shots here. So you got to be careful with who you're talking to. Hey, real quick, we do have one more Kansas case to get to. And then actually we have two more Kansas cases to get to. No, the other one's going to be an unsolved homicide that we'll get to.
We've got some of those tonight too.
But we're going to go ahead and cover Cameron.
Okay, but real quick, he was a male model / Alaska police officer.
Well, that guy, he looks like he does is like
he was shocked to find out that his photos were being used for that.
That's terrible. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about Cameron here.
All right, I just got to find him on my long list of flyers here. I know he's on here.
You pulled it. Missing from Lawrence, Kansas.
Cameron Anderson Raybon. He's missing from Lawrence since November 3rd of 2021. He's 15 years old. He's 5'8" and weighs 160 pounds. Has black hair and brown eyes. I wish we had more information on Cameron, but we don't. If anybody can shed some light on maybe a possible location where he may be or anything like that, that would be appreciated. If you have any information regarding Cameron's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Lawrence, Kansas Police Department. It's 785-832-7509 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him found. It's, been a little over 3 months, 2 months. So let's see if we can get him found and back to where he needs to be. He's another one that they're really on the hunt for, trying to find and getting him back to where he needs to be. So let's see if we can't help him out. Somebody knows something, say something, please.
Tammy was talking about, I believe, when I was talking about children in the foster system, she said they usually have trauma. She also makes a good point. She says trafficking does go on in schools as well. Yeah, I mean, you think about it. I mean, trafficking pretty much goes on everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a case a while back in Nebraska where a teacher got busted for trafficking, and then a student in the school was arrested as well because the student was getting these pictures and stuff from these female students and getting it to this teacher, and pretty bad deal.
Jeez.
So and Vista is saying she has a friend that's been trying to adopt one of these Kansas kids through foster care, but Kansas workers don't seem to be in any hurry, never respond or even help to get these kids a place to go. Could be they run from a foster home as they think no one cares. Possibly. My 2 kids are adopted from foster care, and the process took us to get ours adopted because with our situation, they were really given the birth parents to give them quite a few chances to get their act together and straightened out. But the process took us about 3 years overall. So, it was a pretty lengthy process.
Yeah.
but they were real good about staying in touch with us, letting us know what was going on. I mean, we had to do, I don't remember how many background checks we had to do with KBI through the whole process. And then the very last one, we did a KBI background check. And then the only time in my life I've ever been fingerprinted was that background check, because after they did that background check with KBI, they sent it off to the FBI, and the FBI did another one just to make sure, that neither one of us had any kind of aliases or hidden skeletons or anything like that.
We are very vetted here at KMU.
Yeah.
I worked for the government at my last job, and they had to do a pretty squeaky clean background check on me. I was like, wow. They looked far.
So,
well, anyway,
I've been background checked by the best.
Yeah, me too, man. Real quick, we do need to take a quick break, and we're going to cover some out-of-state cases. And then tonight we're going to talk about quite a few unsolved homicides from the area and surrounding areas. But we're going to check in real quick from producer extraordinaire Brandon Smith. He's going to tell us about Colton Barrera real quick. We'll be right back after this.
All right.
Hi, this is Brandon, producer of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, and today I want to talk about one of our outstanding cases, Colton Ross Barrera. Colton went missing from Russell, Kansas on September 26th of 2008. He was 17 at the time he disappeared. He would now be 31. He's 5 foot 9 inches tall and weighs 135 pounds, has brown hair and brown eyes. A friend dropped him off at an outdoor skate park, and Colton was supposed to call his friend when he wanted to be picked up, but he never did. Authorities believe he left on his own accord, but Colton's family does not believe this, because he wasn't having any problems that would cause him to run away, and he left his wallet and identification behind. Recent information suggests that Colton may have been killed and his body hidden. Colton's case remains unsolved. If you have any information regarding Colton's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call Russell County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 785-483-2151 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or the FBI at 816-512-8200. And let's work together and get Colton back home.
All right.
Your brother Terry Double T over here says Colton's case is one of those cases that screams foul play to me. Someone knows something. I think a bunch of people know something in that one. The more I hear about it.
Yeah, Colton's mom requested everybody call the FBI number first.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you have any information on Colton's case, call the FBI number first.
Yeah. Well, here, let's go ahead and get into some other states here. Let's talk about Harmony, Montgomery.
This case blows my mind, and I will get into that here in just a second here. She is missing from Manchester, New Hampshire since October 1st of 2019. She was 5 when she went missing. She would now be 7. She was 4 foot tall, 50 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. Her biological mother said last time she spoke to Harmony was over FaceTime on October 1st, 2019. She lost legal custody of Harmony in 2018 as she struggled with substance abuse issues. Her father, Adam Montgomery, who had legal custody, blocked all contact. He was living in Manchester at the time. Harmony's mother said that she went on to call New Hampshire schools, drove by homes associated with Harmony's father, made multiple calls to New Hampshire DCYF, which is the Division of Children, Youth, and Families, equivalent of our DCF. Harmony was seen during a Manchester police call for service on October 2019 at a residence in the city. This is the last time she was seen in Manchester. Authorities searched a home on Guilford Street in Manchester multiple times, which they said in a news release is a focus of the investigation because it is the last known location where Harmony was to reside before she disappeared in 2019. Montgomery was arrested on charges including failing to have Harmony in his custody. He has pled not guilty. His, now ex-wife, Harmony's stepmother, was also arrested. She's accused of welfare fraud for allegedly collecting food stamps for Harmony, even though she was no longer living with the couple. She has pled not guilty. My understanding is they recently dropped the fraud charge and they've added some theft charges, which recategorized it from a felony to a misdemeanor, which is going to allow her to bond out at some point. Additional searches have been done at that residence in Manchester. It's not been known if anything was found, as police have not said anything regarding that last search that they've done. Harmony is blind in her right eye, and she should be wearing her glasses. Some of the other information that I've seen is authorities are not limiting their search to Manchester. They're also looking at possibly Massachusetts, because at some point in time the family lived in Massachusetts as well. So they're searching in that area as well. And one of the working theories on Harmony's case is that her father may have sold her for drugs. They don't have any actual solid evidence to go that route, but they're feeling like that might be a possibility. So they're looking at that as well. One of his uncles has come forward and said that he had seen Harmony with a black eye at one point, and what had happened was apparently Harmony's father, Adam, had gone to the restroom and left Harmony to look after the infant. And I remember this is a 5-year-old girl looking after an infant while he was in the bathroom. Well, the baby started crying, and when he came out, Harmony had her hand over the baby's mouth to try to quiet him down. And when Anthony saw that, he punched her in the face and gave her the black eye. And the uncles also said he's witnessed or been told by Anthony that he had spanked her really hard on the butt and made her stand in a corner for long periods of time, and even made her scrub the toilet with her own toothbrush. So she's undergone quite a bit of abuse. Her brother is adopted by another family, and that's part of what got this whole thing started. Was they were reaching out to make contact to Harmony for the brother, so they could reunite the two and spend time together and stuff. But it's been a pretty bad deal with Harmony. It's been 2 years. Nobody knows where she's at. Like I said, the birth mother even feels like that maybe the dad sold her for drugs as well. But they're not leaving any scenarios off the table at this point either. So, I mean, with the history of child abuse, he could have went too far one time and accidentally killed her. Don't know. He's been asked where she's at numerous times. He won't say. One of the last things he did say was that, last time I saw her, I took her to her birth mother so her birth mother could see her. And birth mom's like, no, he didn't. I haven't seen her in 2 years.
This guy's lucky we have like laws and people are for the most part decent, because if this was the mob, really all you need is a pair of pliers and an afternoon, and we'll find out exactly what it's like. Why this guy has information, obviously. I mean, who knows if he did it, but he knows more than he's saying. I mean, this is your child, and your child is missing, right. And all you can come up with is, I'm not talking. I mean, let's just torture him till he tells. I mean, I know I'm joking, but I mean, it's like, what are we gonna lose? I mean, this guy obviously is a piece of garbage, in my opinion. And why even give him the benefit of that? Like, just, I don't know. I hate that we have to prove it, but right. If he has been out there, first of all, if he's telling people that he hit his kid so hard that he like welted her, he's bragging about it. Maybe he's bragged about doing something else to Harmony. So if anybody out there in the New Hampshire area has heard anything about this, say something. That's enough. It's enough.
And if you have any information regarding her disappearance, or her whereabouts, call the Manchester, New Hampshire Police Department's 24/7 tip line at 603-203-6060. And when I made the flyer, the reward was up to $100,000 for information leading to Harmony's whereabouts. But it's since increased. Now the reward is $112,535 for information leading to her whereabouts. So quite a hefty reward, and it seems like it's just going to continue to go up. So let's see if we can make people aware of what's going on with Harmony's case, and get her found and back to where she needs to be.
Mondi says that poor baby, such a beautiful girl. Yeah, she is beautiful.
She is.
Double T says this case has turned my stomach. What kind of parent sells their child for drugs?
Yeah.
And then here's Mondi on my guerrilla justice I was talking about. She said, why not? He's abused this innocent little girl. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, even like, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of mafia stuff lately. And, even mafia hardened criminals, if you say what you will about them, they wouldn't put up with that. There's people are lucky that the police are looking for them and not like most, there's people, I don't know. You do that to a little kid. That's horrible. That's horrible. Put it this way. I don't know. I don't want to say too much. It's horrible. You're disgusting. And yeah, you're gross. And I hope somehow they figure out a way to find out what happened to this little girl.
Definitely.
But anyway, this is one that you this one looks a little different than most of our flyers. But tell us a little bit about Infinity Latanya Hayes. And the name looks funky because I had to piece it together.
Yeah, this is one that I actually ran across this morning, and I decided rather than actually make a flyer, I would just go ahead and use what was in the media because it's from the Army CID. So I thought, let's just leave it as is for right now anyway. But the U.S. Army Criminal Investigative Division seeking the public's help and offering a reward of up to $25,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for the murder of Mrs. Infinity Latanya Hayes. Mrs. Hayes was shot and killed by an unknown male while at Milford Lake, Kansas on October 3rd, 2021. The unknown gunman demanded money prior to shooting Mrs. Hayes and then fled on foot. And I found an article on WIBW.com that says that the victim was approached by a male, 6'1" or taller, dressed in all black, approached her and her husband and attempted to rob the couple at gunpoint. Authorities said there was a gunshot. The victim fell to the ground. She was driven to Gary Community Hospital by her husband, and they still have not identified a suspect. And they're saying, let me find that. I was just reading off of the other flyer here. It says any person having information regarding this incident should contact Fort Riley CID office at 253-441-7891 or at www.cid.army.mil/report-a-crime.html. You can remain confidential. Persons wishing to remain anonymous will be honored to the degree allowable under the law, and the information will be held in the strictest confidence allowable. Persons can also anonymously submit information at www.cid.army.mil/report-a-crime.html. It's the same URL. I don't know why they repeated it.
Right.
The payout of cash rewards for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible involved is contingent upon the accuracy and value of the information provided and the actions taken based upon the information provided. Military and federal employees are typically not eligible for rewards unless the information provided is separate and distinct from and did not interfere with their assigned duties. So,
wow, that's sad.
And it says it expires on December 13th of 2022 at the bottom. So I didn't know rewards expired, but apparently this one does.
A beautiful girl just gone.
Yep, definitely.
Senselessly.
Definitely. I don't know. And nothing was said whether or not her and her husband had kids or not, but yeah, she's definitely a pretty young lady.
We're getting a lot of crazy YouTube comments tonight. I'm blocking people. I hope you're okay with that, Ricky. I'm taking justice.
Yeah, that's. I noticed somebody was blocked. Why were they? Did they say something?
They're just posting like weird links, and we are not in the business to be having weird links in our shows.
Yeah. Well, I saw another one that said something really. Yeah, there's a Sherilyn Darnley that has a vor.ong comment, and another.
Yeah, I took one down.
Israel De Herrera said, "Well, I won't repeat it."
I have one here.
It needs to be removed as well.
Okay, I'll get to it. It says, "Do we know why Fort Riley CID has this case?"
That I don't know. That is a good question. I don't know if she was or maybe her husband was. That I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't seen anything on anything I've read that says otherwise. So that's a good question.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can help drum up some information to help them figure out who did it.
Right.
That's what we're here for.
Right. Trisha's like, thank you for blocking all these YouTube bots. She's just getting attacked over there by these bots.
Is that where a lot of these are originating from?
They're all YouTube. Yeah.
YouTube? Okay.
They're all coming from YouTube.
Okay.
But we're blocking them as we go, so you're good. Let's go ahead and keep going here. Let's talk about Logan Douglas.
Okay.
Sully.
This is one that was messaged to me on Missouri Missing and Unsolved. And so I went and made a flyer and posted his. Logan Douglas, I don't know if it's Sally or Saley, missing from St. Robert, Missouri since January 8th of this year. He's 16. He is 6'2", weighs between 190 to 200 pounds, has short brown hair and blue eyes. He was last seen in Camdenton, Missouri. He is in need of medication that he left behind. Again, he's 16 years old. He's 6'2", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. He has short light brown hair and blue eyes. He has a fresh scar on the top of his left hand. If you have any information regarding Logan's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Camdenton, Missouri Police Department at 573-346-3604 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number, 866-362-6422. See if we can't help get Logan found and back to where he needs to be. And my brother saying that YouTube is notorious for bots. Apparently so. Apparently something else they're notorious for, according to another YouTuber that I watch, is as soon as she posts videos, she said that YouTube flags them for review before they'll actually let her upload them.
Yeah, it's getting crazy over there.
Yeah. She said I could take anywhere from 1 day up to almost 2
You know how
weeks to get
sick
them
people
approved.
are, dude. So
That sounds like
somebody-
censorship at its finest to me.
somebody sent the Catherine Adam page that our good friend Kelsey Youngblood runs a message, and it was like, it looked creepy. It was like, here's a hint, and then it was a link, and it was just a YouTube video, and I'm not gonna say it because I'll explain it, but she didn't want to click on it because you don't click on stuff that from people send stuff like that. So she was just like, what's this about? And they said, it's a hint.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what is this about? And they were like, oh, you don't know? And she was like, what are you talking about? And then they blocked her.
Yeah, she showed me the screenshots too.
So I Googled the video and it was on YouTube. And it's these two dweebs. They're doing like a true crime thing. But what they do is it's all fake. I'm sorry if anybody out there's a fan of this show, but I didn't find it cute. But they basically fabricate this thing where somebody sends them a mystery box with a bunch of clues to unsolved crimes in America, or so, I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
And it was like a purse with a K on it. And I don't know if they alluded it might be Catherine Adams, but in the comments, people were saying Catherine Adams. And you could just tell by the way that the whole thing was shot that it was scripted, it was fake. There's no way that these guys would have these many episodes out and the police wouldn't have confiscated all their material and been like, these are real artifacts and real crimes. Nobody's mailing people facts. And I think it's almost like psychics. It's playing. I mean, there's one thing of doing a true crime, podcast and talking about true crime. But I mean, there's some out there that I think go too far where they're making comedy podcasts about homicides, and they're making, and it's just overboard. It's just overboard.
Well, I'm glad you researched that. I haven't had a chance to do that, but I was going to do the same thing you did. So
it looked like it was something that somebody wrote a script about. Hey, let's make a creepy true crime YouTube reality show, and we'll talk about real life crimes, and it's fiction, and it's really disrespectful to people's families. Tell me about Cheryl McBee Pence.
Okay. Let's see here. She is missing from Wilcox County, Alabama, and I do have a small update on her case too. Oh, it's up there at the top. I always keep forgetting it's at the top. And she's been missing since January 1st of this year. She's 56. She's 5'2", weighs 100 pounds. She has brown with gray hair and hazel eyes. She is from Rye, Colorado. Her son, Michael Brandon McBee, also of Rye. They were both reported missing on January 1st. However, search crews did find Michael and transported him to the hospital because he was not in the best of conditions. He was taken to the hospital, and he's now recovering at home. Cheryl and Michael were in the woods Saturday evening. Some hunters saw them and talked with them, and while they were talking, Cheryl walked off. Michael eventually walked off trying to find her. Crews searched the remote area in southern Wilcox County where they were around County Road 45 near Monroe County line. The Red Mountain Search Dog Association was assisting with efforts to find her, as well as other search crews. She's said to have mental health issues and is in need of care, and she has not had her medication since she went missing. She was last known to be wearing a black tank top, black pants, and sandals. She has a tattoo of a small heart on her chest, a dolphin on her waistline, and a tree of life on the back of her right shoulder. And the update I have on that was one I saw this morning. The headline was titled "Body Found in Southern Alabama. Investigators believe it's a missing Colorado woman." And they're saying investigators believe a missing Colorado woman's been found dead in Southern Alabama. Monroe County Sheriff Tom Boatwright said his deputies were called after a body was discovered in a shooting house near the Monroe and Wilcox County line. Officials said it's believed to be Cheryl Pence, who was last seen on December 31st. At this time, investigators are not suspecting foul play. Family members said Pence and her son Michael were seen by hunters as they were walking in the woods of Wilcox County. Boatwright said Pence had been working in Florida recently, and the mother and son were in Alabama for a spiritual journey. The sheriff said they drove out to Wilcox County and wandered into the woods and became separated from each other. McVie was found alive on January 3rd and taken to the hospital for treatment. And as I mentioned, he's home recovering now. Local agencies spent countless hours searching after Pence was reported missing. We felt like she was just in the woods, was lost, did not know where she was at. We've had a lot of cold nights since then. We feel like she went into that shooting house maybe to get shelter, to get out of the weather, Boatwright said. The sheriff said that McVie is back home in Colorado. So they're thinking it's her, but they haven't made a positive ID yet. So I'm going to keep my eyes open to see if they do make a positive ID on her. If anybody may have any information, regarding her disappearance or anything, you can call the Wilcox County, Alabama Sheriff's Office at 334-682-9115 and, let them know, the information that you may have. Tricia is saying that it's so sad. Yeah, it definitely is sad.
Yeah.
Definitely is sad.
Double T says that's stupid talking about that YouTube video.
Yeah.
Melissa said because the Army owns the lake. Like, what is that?
Well, apparently they own Milford.
Oh. One more out-of-state case, and we're going to get into some unsolved homicides, and we're going to take a break before we do that. Go ahead and tell us about Shay McLaughlin here.
Yeah, okay. He is missing from Romulus, Michigan since October 18th of 2020. He was 15 when he went missing. He's now 17. He's 5'6", weighs between 180 and 190 pounds. He has blonde or strawberry hair and brown eyes. He was captured on camera leaving his house around 10:48 on that evening and was getting into an SUV. Shane has released videos on social media, his face obscured by his hoodie being pulled tight on his face and wearing a mask. And he says he's fine. He wants to be left alone. He's also saying things like his mother was emotionally and verbally abusive towards him, and states that he had told her at some point that he was depressed and had anxiety, and supposedly she told him to get over it and whatnot. But she is refuting those claims, and she says that she's got documentation showing that she's been trying to get him into counseling and stuff like that, and she feels like that he's putting these videos out in an attempt to get people to stop looking for him. But in order for that to happen, police are going to have to find him and see him in person for the, so they can make sure that he is safe and okay, so they can say, okay, we can close your case now.
I mean, I wonder how old you have to be in Michigan to just, what is that called? Seek emancipation?
Yeah, I don't know what the age is in Michigan for that.
I mean, and a lot of these people, a lot of these teens, that you see are at that age of 16 to 17, and they're missing. And it's you do know that even worst case scenario, say that there's no way you want to live with other people. You can do things like seek emancipation, where you're just I just want to be a grown up now. I want to, there's options like that. And I don't know what that is in Michigan, but I mean, there's better ways to do things at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Shelly Edwards is saying, thank you, Ricky and Derek, for keeping the faces of the missing in the public's eye. Well, you're very welcome, Shelly. That's what we're here to do, and we're going to keep doing it.
That is for sure.
Yeah. And I also saw a deal where Shane's mother feels like she knows who he is with, and apparently it's a female that they've had a restraining order or something, no contact order put on or whatever, but they can't prove it. But again, he was 15 when he went missing. He's now 17. He's 5'6", weighs between 180 and 190, has blonde or strawberry hair and brown eyes, has a heartbeat tattoo on the inside of his left arm, and both of his ears are pierced. He did take his Nike duffel bag with him. If anybody has any information regarding Shane's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Romulus, Michigan Police Department at 734-941-8400 and see if we can't help get him found so the police can verify that he is indeed safe and okay and get him the help that he needs. And Chris is saying people have a lot of nerve joking about murders, especially on a YouTube channel. They have no morals. Definitely agree with that, Chris. Definitely. Definitely.
It's terrible.
And,
Hey,
and
if
Vista,
you're listening, go ahead.
Vista is saying, she's asking if anybody's heard anything on this case, and then she posted another comment. Justin Sywick. We've covered him before. A couple of times, actually, I think.
We can cover it again next week, Vista.
Yeah.
That would.
I haven't heard anything new on him. We'll have to revisit his case and see if there's any new developments and cover it on Tuesday's show.
All right. Well, we'll be right back. We're going to talk about some unsolved homicides, and then we're going to get out of here tonight. We'll be right back after this. You're watching or listening, if you're on Spotify, listening to the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast.
Leaving an abusive relationship is a highly personal, individual decision, but all survivors benefit from having trusted people during this time. Since those experiencing abuse are often isolated by their abusers, it's important to know how you can support survivors on their path to finding safety. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, please reach out to the hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Again, that's 1-800-799-7233.
All right. We're going to get into Dietrich Foster here. We've covered him quite a few times, but we want to keep covering him to get somebody, hopefully, like I said, to reach the right heart and the right ears that'll be willing to speak up and talk. Dietrich's been missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th of 2020, and he was last seen around April 12th in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Foster's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He's now 39. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So let's see if we can't help get some information going to what apparently has happened to him.
And that $5,000 reward, that's from the governor, folks. I mean, if you know something, say something.
Yeah. Hey, Lance Noriega is asking... We're still going to talk about my nephew in this show, David Bowers Jr. We sure can.
For sure.
We sure can.
Tell me about Roberta May Klotz.
Okay. January 7th, 1987, 30-year-old Roberta M. Klotz put her two daughters and a friend of one of her daughters to bed about 10:30. When the children woke up the next morning, Roberta was gone. Police believe that Roberta would not have voluntarily left her children at home. All of her personal items, including her medication, was still in the home. On the morning of Sunday, January 11th, law enforcement did a full search of the mobile home and found Roberta's body hidden there. She had been asphyxiated. Law enforcement believes that Roberta was killed either late January 7th or early January 8th. They believe her body was in the house the whole time. Police believe Roberta was killed while the children were sleeping in the home. Roberta lived at 125 Maple in an almond green and white mobile home in Great Bend, Kansas with her two daughters. All immediate suspects have been cleared. If anybody has any information regarding Roberta's death, please call Crime Stoppers at 888-305-1300 or 620-792-1300 and see if we can't help them find out who may have done this to her. There is a combined reward of $6,000 being offered, $1,000 from Crime Stoppers and $5,000 from the Governor's Reward Fund. So, if anybody knows something, say something, please. This has been a long, long time. It's time to put some closure on this case. And we got Carol Noriega saying that David Bowers Jr. is her grandson. So we've got an uncle and a grandmother for David Bowers Jr.
Okay. Have we covered that recently?
I'm going to get David Bowers' flyer pulled up here. So I've got it so we can do it here after a bit. Who are we doing next?
We are going to be doing Cindy, Pinkie, and Isom.
Okay. Okay. Cindy, Pinkie, and Isom, Montgomery County, Kansas, December 7th, 2017. She was found with multiple gunshot wounds to her head in the Card Creek area near Elk City, Kansas, on the morning of December 7th, 2017. She died a short time later. Hunters in the Card Creek camping area called Sheriff's Office to report what they thought was a body floating in the water less than a mile south of the boat ramp. Sheriff's deputies and paramedics from Independence boarded the hunter's boat and recovered the body. Montgomery Sheriff's Office and the Kansas Bureau of Investigation continued to search for whoever is responsible for Cindy's death. Cindy was seen in Baxter Spring, Kansas 3 hours before she was found shot. According to a news release, investigators think she was in Miami a few hours before being seen in Baxter Springs. If you have any information regarding Cindy's death, please call Montgomery County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-330-1000 or the KBI at 1-800-572-7463. And here's another one where there's a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the person or persons responsible for Cindy's death. So if anybody has any information on Cindy's case, please call it in. If you know something, say something.
Yeah.
And Roxanne says they have a woman in Oklahoma missing where the reward has gone up to $325,000.
We're set of rewards for everybody.
Wow. Give me some information on that, Roxanne. I'll look into getting a flyer made.
Tell us about Juan Solis.
Okay. Juan Solis, that's September 5th, 2013, from Topeka. He was a longtime employee of Boss Hogg's Barbecue Restaurant and Pigskin Sports Bar in Topeka. He was wounded once in the chest around 6:30 in the morning on September 5th, 2013, at a one-story residence at 447 Northeast Arter. Police said the shooting occurred during a home invasion at the residence located at the southwest corner of Northeast State and Arter, a couple blocks west of Philip Billiard Municipal Airport property, or Bullard, I guess it is. One was taken to by American Medical Response ambulance to a local hospital in critical condition. Though police said one was speaking while he was in the ambulance, he died a short time later at the hospital. If you have any information regarding Juan's death, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9551 or Topeka Crime Stoppers 785-234-0007 and let them know what you know about Juan's case and see if we can help find out who did this to Juan.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about Jeremy D. Cook? We just have so many tonight. I'm glad we got a located safe reel coming up.
Yeah. Let's see here. Cook. Look for him there. We initially covered him as a missing person, but now we're going to cover him as an unsolved homicide. On November 19th of 2020, the citizens called 911 after finding a 2006 white Jeep Grand Cherokee. The last vehicle Jeremy was last seen in the 7300 block of East Bailey in Wichita. Officers found Jeremy inside with a fatal gunshot wound. The investigation is ongoing, but police say the shooting was not random and no arrests have been made. If anybody has any information regarding Jeremy's death, please call the Wichita Police Department detectives at 316-268-4407 or Crime Stoppers at 316-267-2111 or the See Something, Say Something hotline at 316-519-2282 and see if we can help find out who's responsible for Jeremy's death. I hope them to find out who is.
That's terrible.
One
more, and we promise we'll show you something positive, but we have to get the stories out here. We have to get the word out. Here, let's talk about Emery Baldwin.
Okay, and did you have David Michael Bowers' flyer by chance?
Did you send it to me?
I will real fast.
How long ago did we cover his case last?
It's been a little while, actually.
Oh, then I won't have it. Yeah, go ahead and send it to me so I can make the flyer up.
Okay.
And I'll add it up, and then we'll cover
it. Is it's in Messenger right now.
Okay, go ahead and tell us about Emery Baldwin, and then we'll play our Located Safe and come back with Brandon, and we'll talk about this flyer.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk about Emery Baldwin, though.
Okay. Emery Baldwin, April 17th to July 17th, 2017, from Topeka. She's from Topeka. She was found in Osage County. Her skeletal remains were found by a park ranger just north of the Melbourne Lake in Osage County on August 25th, 2017, near the lake's Turkey Point waterfront day use area. Anna is thought to have been killed between April and July 2017. She was 5'6", weighed about 120 pounds, had brown hair and hazel eyes at the time wore gold frame glasses. KBI investigators are asking anybody who knew Anna in late 2016 or in 2017 or who may have information related to her death to please call 1-800-572-7463. Callers may remain anonymous. So if anybody has any information regarding Anna's death, please call them and let them know what you know.
Yeah.
It's her, her case, like all these other unsolved cases we've covered, these perpetrators need to be found.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what we're going to do real quick is take a quick break, and we're going to go ahead and watch Brandon's awesome Located Safe reel. Definitely stick around. We're going to talk a little bit more and talk about this case where we're actually doing a flyer in real time right now. So you're watching the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast or listening to it, whichever you prefer. We'll be right back after this.
I always like to see those Located Safe reels.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Cindy is saying, thank you both for what you do. You're very welcome, Cindy.
We made that flyer in 3 minutes. We're good. It doesn't look pretty, but we did it.
All right. And David Michael Bowers Jr. is missing from Afton, Missouri since September 12th of 2021. He's 18 years old. He's 5'10", 128 pounds, and brown hair with blonde and green in it and brown eyes. He is from Eldon, Missouri, and could possibly be in areas near Eldon. Again, he's 18. He's 5'10", weighs 120 pounds, has brown hair in dreadlocks with blonde and green tints and brown eyes. Looks like much like the center photo there. He has last seen wearing a white and black hoodie, jeans, and white tennis shoes. He has multiple scars on his arms. He has multiple tattoos, including an eye image on his right thumb and Homer Simpson in an unknown location. If you have any information regarding David's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Miller County, Missouri Sheriff's Office at 573-369-2341 or the Missouri State Highway Patrol Missing Persons Clearinghouse at 573-526-6178 or their toll-free number at 1-800-877-3452 and see if we can't help his family find out where he is at and get him brought home.
Yeah.
Hopefully he is okay wherever he is at. But let's help him get him home. Yeah, I was reading some more of Vista's comments regarding Justin Sywick. Apparently his mom just recently passed away and says that his family is lost and just wants closure on what happened to him. And now they've lost her. So, yeah, we will definitely get him, look for updates on his case, and we'll get him on Tuesday's show.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see. Please, if anyone knows where he is, say something. He is a good person. We love him so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're about out of show here.
Yeah.
But next week we will cover all the cases you want us to cover, and you can always feel free to message the Kansas Missing and Unsolved page directly. Let us know what page we have. Brandon, we kind of bring you on at the what's that?
Lance, Bowers' uncle is saying thank you. You're very welcome, Lance. I had a brain lapse there for a second. I'm sorry. Oh, and Cindy says thank you 3, not 2.
So Brandon welcome, is he does our videos and he makes our screen backgrounds and stuff like that here at Back Home Media. And I wanted to let everybody get to know him a little bit tonight. Brandon, here before we get to our prayer and get out of here, you do stand-up comedy, correct?
Correct.
So Brandon, if anybody is ever in the Raleigh, North Carolina Triangle area, Brandon does stand-up comedy, pretty often. You can see him if you go out into a lot of the clubs there. But man, how's that going for you, man?
Well, COVID's kind of slowed everything down, and then it started to pick back up, and now this new Omicron variant slowed everything down again. But I try and hit as many open mics as I possibly can every week, and keep my name out there. And then obviously me and my friend Teron, we book shows as well, so it's always fun to go out and just hear other comedians. Sometimes it's more fun to go listen to the other ones than it is to go out and perform. So you're just trying to find people to book.
Yeah. Well, we just want to thank you for everything you do here, and the videos look great. It seems like everybody seems to like them. And Jason wants to go ahead. Jason wants to know if you could add a buddy of his to your prayers tonight. He just killed this out. Oh my gosh! Sorry to hear about that, Jason.
Sorry.
Do you want to disclose his name or just pray for him as a friend of yours?
That's terrible. Sorry, Jason. Well, on that, let's just see what he says. But
yeah,
I'll just say on that note, let's go ahead and pray. That's terrible, man.
I've seen some pretty cool comedians over the years. I've seen George Wallace and Jimmy Walker, and trying to think, Michael Winslow.
Oh, Michael Winslow. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into our prayer. He says you can say his name. It'll be Eric Steiner. Rest in peace, Eric. That's sorry to hear that.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Rick.
Please say prayer. Okay. Well, Heavenly Father, I do want to thank you tonight for allowing us to do another show and bring these cases to light to our viewers and supporters. And again, as always, we pray that they reach the right hearts and the right ears, that they'll call in and do the right thing and give the right information. And we also want to pray for Jason and his friend Eric and his family, and help them through the grief of the loss of Eric, and for Vista, and pray for her family as they all continue to fight COVID in their household, and help them all to recover and heal from that. And, keep us all safe until we come together again on Tuesday and for the next show. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Have a good night, and amen.
Amen.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.